Hello everyone, to Forest Focus. The Champions League tension is cranked up for Nottingham Forest. Last week it looked like Newcastle were unstoppable, but now that's Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest looked just shoe in 3 weeks ago, but now they're wobbling after consecutive defeats. Will they buckle or can they pick up a massive win at Tottenham tomorrow night? Joining me to discuss all that, first of all, is Greg Mitchell. Morning, Greg. How are you?
Good, thank you. Very fresh. Enjoying the bank holiday weekend.
Yes, well, thank you to Greg and Mikey, who I'll introduce in a moment, for doing this on a Sunday, and Temps, who was going to do it as well, but had to drop out. And thanks to Temps for hosting on Monday, by the way, when I was on holiday, and everyone who helped me out with that. Good to be back with you, and for your patience. We didn't do much last week, but yeah, cranking up again now. Lots coming up, which I'll tell you about towards the end of the show. Mikey Clarke, how are you today?
Really good. I'm confused about what day it is because I thought Friday was Saturday because of all the football that was on, and now we're doing a podcast on a Sunday, which is unusual. So I'm just a bit all over the shop this weekend, but I'm looking forward to Forest tomorrow. It should be good.
I saw, Championship football on Friday, wasn't there? Derby lost in the early kickoff, which was quite funny on their pitch. Oh, check out. If you haven't seen Prutz's advert, which was obviously recorded at Derby, it's really funny. I'll retweet it already. It's a spoof on the Mitchell and Webb advert sketch that they did. So yeah, that's really good. Prutz can't take himself seriously at all, can he? That's what probably makes him so likable. Right, let's talk about this game then, obviously in some depth. Normally, I ask for general thoughts on the game, but I'll ask for general thoughts on the current situation after yesterday. Man City winning. Villa absolutely steamrolling Newcastle makes me pretty nervous about how things are. But I'll put this up. This is the Opta thing for the cold analytical cynics amongst us. That's not very well cropped at all. It's got us. We are 5th at the moment. And this is the predicted points table for those who are watching on YouTube. We are predicted 66.44 points, which would be good enough for 5th. And interestingly, they rank us currently with a 67% chance of getting in the Champions League. So it has dropped a little bit, but they still have us finishing in the top 5. That's all the simulations and data nerds and all that stuff have us 5th, City 3rd, Newcastle 4th. Their percentages of playing in the Champions League are much higher, 89%, 83%. But Villa, they're predicting are the ones to miss out on 37% chance of getting in. Where should I start? The cold analytical person in Mikey, if that's not too offensive, or the pure vibes person in Greg. Greg, kick us off. How are you feeling about where we're at right now?
It's in our hands. I just keep thinking about the game against Chelsea, last game of the season, if it's going to be another big one. You speak to Spurs fans and they are not expecting a lot on Monday. So we get a win on Monday and everything looks rosy again, doesn't it? Newcastle were definitely the team that was storming and looked fantastic. And yesterday they looked absolutely garbage. So everyone's feeling the pressure. You'd think it's between us and Chelsea really for that last spot, I'd say. So it's exciting, and we always do well at the end of the seasons when it gets exciting. Look, when we stayed up against Ipswich, when we stayed up Arsenal, when we stayed up last year, it's just we always seem to have a crazy end to the season, and this one's no different. But the prize is much bigger, so yeah, excited. It's crazy that we're all going to be disappointed if it's Europa League, isn't it? That's how good this season's been. So yeah, just keep going. We've had a bit of a blip. We've played some good sides. I know Everton aren't that great, but they gave Man City a good show yesterday as well. So they've certainly turned a corner. So yeah, it's still in our hands. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I feel like it's between. I think Chelsea are going to fade away. I might be proven wrong. They play Fulham in a few hours as we record this. So I feel like it's us or Villa, but maybe it's Newcastle. I don't know. People on Twitter might have seen have somehow been forced into a public charity bet with Steve Allen, where if we get 9 points or more, I've got to pay 100. He's got to pay 50 quid to Emily's charity trek, and I'll plug that in the week, I'm sure. And then if we get 9 points or 8 points or fewer, I've got to pay 100 quid. I don't know how I end up having to pay double him, but Steve's convinced we won't win another game this season, Mikey, which is probably typical Steve. How are you feeling about the current situation?
We've got Leicester at home, Steve. Come on, mate.
Make him pay 100 quid to start the time.
Steve,
yeah?
You've got to pay 100 quid as well. You can't. I'm not paying 100 if you're paying 50. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
Mikey.
That seems slightly unfair. You can tell it's a special time of the year, Easter, because I'm agreeing with Greg. It is in our hands. It absolutely is. So a win tomorrow, I think, sees us go back to third. And then there's 5 games left, 15 points. So out of all those teams, and I appreciate Villa were spectacular, yesterday, as they were against PSG. They're really hitting form. I think I saw something that said they're the form team of Europe. It's great time to hit form, isn't it? And Newcastle have been brilliant up until the second half yesterday, and Greg's right. Teams are feeling the pressure, but we're still in a magnificent position. We really are. And I was going to talk about this for my AOB, but I'll just touch on it quickly now. Look at the fixtures we've got left. Spurs. I mean, what Spurs are going to turn up? Brentford at home, nothing to play for. Palace away, got done 5-0 in midweek and didn't have a shot on target yesterday. Leicester at home, as I said, Matt for putting that up, so people can compare. West Ham away, who couldn't be statistically the second worst team that's ever been in this league yesterday. And then flaky Chelsea at home. So there's still a load of points to play for. 18 points to play for, 15 after tomorrow. I still think we only need 3 wins to get there. And as Greg said, even if we just miss out, we're going to get into a European competition and everybody would have bit your hand off for that. So let's not be too doom and gloom. It's still in our hands. We've got a great chance of winning tomorrow. Son, I think, is out. Maddison's doubtful. Ange's already said he's going to make 5 or 6 changes. And every time we've had a kick in the you-know-what this season, we've come back and produced a great performance. And let's hope it's the same tomorrow. So just stay positive, everybody. It's still there for us.
I've recorded the opposition preview, by the way, with Baker. That's already out for members. He's not very optimistic at all. And he was saying, as you'll hear later, that you can get 6 tickets together on the Spurs ticket exchange. Season ticket holders just aren't coming to the game. Maybe it's because it's a bank holiday. Maybe it's apathy or what. But yeah, he thinks the crowd could really either be silent or turn if things go our way. So yeah, check that opposition preview out. How are you viewing this game then, Greg, in terms of when you see the table? There's 3 points now, I think, between 3rd and 6th, I think it is, and we'll go 3rd with a win. Is it must win? Is it mustn't lose? No. Or do you just want to see the energy levels back after it sounded? I didn't see the Everton game. It sounded like we were pretty awful. How are you viewing this game?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this first half of the Everton game, you thought, right, second half there's going to be a big change, and there wasn't. So you want to see a change. You want to see a change in performance, not necessarily in team selection, but definitely performance. And a point away from home is always a good point. So for me, these last few games, get the wins at home, points away, and we're in the Champions League. So it's simple as that. Spurs, I know they've had a terrible season, but you still go to Spurs, and if you get a win, it's a massive result. So anything could happen. There is a lot of apathy on Spurs chats and things like that. I'm on that last word. Bit of a plug. Last word at Spurs, I think it's called, out tonight, and they're not hopeful at all. You're going to smash us was one of the first comments. So yeah, let's go down there, be confident, get them on the break, and really go for it. Because Son's out, Maddison sounds like he's out. They're battered and bruised. They're not happy with the manager. They're not happy with the owner. I'd say it's perfect time to try and play them.
Yeah, they've lost 3 of the last 4. I think they're 15th in the league. Mikey, I mean, same sort of question to you: must win, must draw, or mustn't lose, I should say, or must perform. How are you seeing it?
I'm usually one that always says, "Do you know what? I don't mind us playing crap as long as we come out with a result." But I'm just going to flip it slightly because I think I've just read out the 5 games we've got on after Spurs, and there's definite points there, and I just think, after 2 defeats in a row, I just want to see us getting back to us, if you know what I mean. So hard to beat, really quick on the transition, getting stuck into tackles, really solid at set pieces. We've just come away from that a little bit in the last few weeks, and it probably is a bit of fatigue. Everybody's feeling it. So as long as we put in something that reminds me of us tomorrow, I'll be okay. Of course I want to win. Of course, if we lose 1-0 to a last-minute goal, I'll be absolutely gutted. But for me, I just want to see us start the way we mean to finish this season and these last 6 games. So start with a bit of intensity, get through that first 20 minutes, because they'll be on a little bit of a high because they had a good result midweek. But as Greg said, there is a lot wrong with that football club at the moment. They've lost at home to Ipswich and Leicester this season. I just wrote down here, they've lost 17 of their 32 games. So over half their games they've played this season, they've lost. So they're beatable. We just need to start really fast, start well, grow into the game and pick them off. So for me, it's about getting that positive feel back, going down there, getting something from the game, coming back and attacking these last 5 games. Because if we end tomorrow third, I'm not saying we're there, but I said before, and I'll say it again, I don't think it's going to go down to the Chelsea game. There are wins in there. And I just think other teams are playing each other. Villa got Man City midweek. They're all playing each other. And they can't both win. So we just need to take care of ourselves. And it starts tomorrow.
Thanks for the super chat, by the way. We'll come to that for sure shortly. What about do you think it's an advantage, Greg, playing last and having those 2 extra days rest? I feel like that's pretty big for us. Or would you rather we played earlier on the Saturday and not had the extra pressure of seeing that City had won and Villa had won?
Well, seeing as you asked, I think it's ridiculous that we're playing on a bank holiday Monday at 8 p.m. with no trains back. But the Premier League and the everything else, they don't really think about that, do they? So that's a real shame to start with. But no, playing last is a good thing because we know what we've got to do even more so now. We've got to get some kind of point. So, we did need a rest. Hopefully those couple of days are going to help us. Spurs have also been playing, haven't they? So get some players back, hopefully, for us. Get Wood in a little bit better form than he was on Saturday. And just play to our strengths. Yeah, I think it is going to help us this time.
Let's dip into the chat then briefly. I'll come to the super chat, but just before this one, Mikey, Wardy, this game is season defining where we end up. We need to get control of the ball early and dominate. And then talk about midfield. I put it up because this game is season defining where we end up. I suppose the negative spin is if we lose, then you do really worry. If we win, like you say, it feels like we've got almost 1 foot back in. Do you see it as much as what Wardy says then, or not?
I agree with his the last point, Wardy, about getting control of the ball early, dominate, flip any sort of positivity that's going around in their crowd, and put that miserable performance against Everton behind us. I absolutely agree with that. I just think there's still a lot of points to play for. So even if it doesn't go for us tomorrow, as I said before, those 5 games, there's definite points in there. And if you were handpicking a fixture list, you won't go far off that. So I absolutely appreciate your point there. You don't want 3 defeats in a row, do you? And I think Ryan Yates came out the other week and said, this game can kick you in the you-know-what, and before you know it, you can lose 3 in a row. And you don't want that to happen to Forest. So it's very important tomorrow. Don't think it's defining, but it could go a long way to re-galvanise everybody concerned with this football club for those last 5 games, which I think will push us over the line. So I think it's a fair comment, and I just want to see us to start really fast tomorrow. Start on the front foot, turn any positivity, as I said, in that crowd. It's going to be. I think one thing I don't understand though, and maybe we can talk about this when we talk about the teams, is I saw Ange and he said, I mean, let's be honest, they're 3 games away from getting in the Champions League, right? He's going to put all his eggs into that basket. Totally get that. But what I don't understand is they're not playing next week. So even if he plays a full team, they've still got 10 days to recover until the next game. So I don't understand why he'd make changes. Surely you'd want... Winning is a routine, it's a rhythm, it's confidence, it's everything. He's just got his first choice back. Why would you change him? I hope he does. I hope Ben Davies comes in and the rest of them, and we get in behind him. But I just don't. If I'm a Spurs fan, I'm thinking, really, why? Like, let's get 2 wins on a bounce. Let's keep this momentum going. I just felt that a little bit strange. So I'm really intrigued to see their fans tomorrow. And for what you were saying, Matt, about a lot of them might not be going. What is the dynamic of that crowd then going to be? Are they going to turn on them if we go 1-0 up? It'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, Baker says there'll be a lot of tourists there, more than normal, so it's not going to have any kind of atmosphere. And obviously, our away fans probably the best in the league. So that could be another useful factor. 265 people watching, which is great on a bank holiday Easter Sunday. Really appreciate that. As Tony says, do us a favour and hit like if you haven't already. Derek asks about Ola, Aina and Taiwo. I think Nuno said in his press he'll give them every chance to get back. That was on Thursday. So they do have some extra days, but I'm not personally not expecting either of them to play. Right, we shall take a word for the Trent navigation, and then we'll return and discuss the super chat that was dropped in. This game is on TV, by the way, so you can enjoy it at the Trent navigation if you're not lucky enough to have a ticket for the game, which both of you are going, aren't you? You both going?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're not with Greg and Mikey in the away ends, you can watch the game at the Trent Nav on the big screen, 2 big screens and screens throughout, indoors and out. And here's what you can expect.
Hey up me duckies, a quick rundown of match days at the Big Shed. We're open from 10, serving full English breakfast, teas, coffees and, believe it or not, beers. Father's Footy Quiz is followed by the lunchtime kickoffs, and the outdoor kitchen is fired up from midday, serving sourdough pizzas, burgers, hot dogs, pies and sausage rolls. Lovely. Pints start at £4. We have a great selection of cask ales and lagers to lubricate the vocal cords for a bit of a sing-song before the game. After the match, we've got some great DJs and live bands booked. So get your send down to the Trent Nav. Win or lose, we're having a booze. And if we draw, we'll have some more.
Very good. Very good. Right, let's take this super chat. Thank you. Is this Moi Moi or Moi Moi? I guess it's Moi Moi. Thanks very much for that and the kind words. Is Nuno the man for the next level? I mean, I certainly think he is. I didn't think he was when he was appointed, to be honest. I thought he'd get us to kind of mid-table, 10th, something like that, and then we might have to look elsewhere. But for me, he definitely is. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, he's deserved it more than anything. Of course he is. Like, how he's got us playing different to the rest of the league and making us that much different that we get results. I think what he could do in Europe with the way his mind is, I think he absolutely is the person, and he's certainly deserved the chance, and I just hope he deserves the chance at the top level, and that's Champions League.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if we get there, Mikey, what he does. I mean, you were a Nuno skeptic. Excuse me, I've just dropped something on my desk. You were a Nuno skeptic at one point. I take it you're not now. What do you think to question, is he the man take us to the next level?
No, I've totally eaten my words, haven't I, on that one? I think I was totally wrong. Yeah, I agree with Greg. I think it's about being part of that journey without sounding cheesy. And it's the same for players. You know, if they're the ones that have got us to this position, whatever European competition it is, then they deserve the opportunity to be in that competition, to play in it or to manage in it. And Nuno has historically managed in Europe with Wolves. So it's not as if it's been new to him. So, yeah, back him, back the players. I think, see what it is. You made a good point, actually, Matt, a couple of weeks ago. You did. When you were talking about the Brighton away game. And I think he said, this is how we'll play in Europe, pat the midfield. And I think he's spot on. I think that's what it'll be. It'll be that extra midfielder. And Greg's point about his mind and his tactics, I think he's probably already looking for that and looking for different ways we can play, certainly away from home against teams in Europe that kind of keep the ball a little better than perhaps teams in this country do. So, yeah, let's see where we are. But this group of players and this manager deserve the chance to show what they can do.
Yeah, agreed. Right, let's look at a lineup then. I didn't really ask Greg to send one in this time, so I'm not going to dig him out.
I always get it wrong anyway. Don't you?
Oh, so do I. I get them wrong all the time. But this is, I'll put Mikey's team on the screen, let him talk through it. Excuse me. Sells in goal, Williams, Milenkovic, Murillo and Alex Moreno, on the assumption that Ola Aina is indeed out. Anderson and Yates in midfield, Hudson-Odoi on the right, Elanga on the left, Gibbs-White in behind, Chris Wood. What's your basic thinking there, Mikey? And then we'll chat around some names.
No messing about with that team, is there? That is literally probably our best team. Get it on the pitch for these last 6 games with our best formation and the ones that are going to cause them problems. I think it pretty much picks himself. There's a debate to be had about Yates and Dominguez, of course, or maybe you bring in a Danilo. But I've gone for Yates because I think we've missed him last couple of games. I really do. and I didn't pick him in my previous team for Everton, I don't think, so I was wrong there. But I think this game against Tottenham, we've been there twice since we got promoted. We've lost 3-1 both times. Let's get Yatesy in there. Let's get rattle him a little bit, and let's get what he brings to the table back in this team. The one thing for me, and I know perhaps on the opposition preview, I might get disagreed with, but I was very specific about having Elanga on the left-hand side. And the reason for that is I'm assuming they're going to play their first choice back four, which is Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Udogie. And Pedro Porro, historically, they might not do it now, but historically, when they've had that in, is the one that steps into midfield. Udogie does it as well, but Porro does it all the time, honestly. So Elanga, pacey Elanga, get him exploiting that space. So I really would like to see Elanga on the left. There was a debate about having Elanga up top because he's done so much damage in recent games. However, Van der Ven is as quick, if not quicker, than him. So there's not going to be potentially that avenue, even if they push up, because Van der Ven will just run with him. So I just want to see Elanga go back to old school, get on that wing, exploit that pace that Porro leaves, or if they Ben Davies there or whoever. I still think Elanga will have a go at him. And I think that's probably the key for us winning the game. I think he's probably the crucial guy. And to see Chris Wood back as well, even though he struggled, as did the majority of the team actually, against Everton, is certainly a good thing because we're going to need him. And, you know, Woody scored there last season and let's hope he does it again. But yeah, 4-2-3-1, Elanga on the left. Let's go for him.
He's check out the opposition preview. It's really interesting to hear about the evolution of Spurs or regression of Spurs' tactics by the sound of it. I don't know if the Porro thing's going to happen, although I do agree, Mikey, I don't think Porro's the best defender. And Baker speaks. Baker says about Jed Spence as well. So definitely check that out. I think it's out at 3:00 for non-members. Greg, what about you? Just on, I didn't see the Everton game, but a lot of people said Nico Dominguez was one of our best players. Would it be harsh to leave him out, or do you value what Yates brings probably more in this game?
Yeah, and so you don't think Spence and Jono would start then?
Well, I'm giving the whole thing away. No one's going to watch. Yeah, he thinks Spence will play, and he's not sure about Brennan. He says Spence is their best defender.
I think Yates and Williams have to be on that pitch if those two are playing, just to know how to get in their heads and really go for them. Yeah, I like that team. If that team's the one that's announced tomorrow, then I'm happy because the players are fit and we're ready to go. And Yates, he just always delivers, doesn't he? You know, if he's in the team, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. So if Yates is the questionable one out of that, then I'd like to see him start. And Dominguez is a great option off the bench because our bench really hasn't looked as strong as the others in the top five recently. And I think that's why we're probably limping over the line rather than going on a late season charge as such. But no, I like that team.
What about Alex Moreno, Mikey? Again, I didn't see the game. I'll keep saying that, but he got some pretty bad reviews for his performance. Any worries there?
Yeah, a little. And I probably was one of them. I think a lot of them struggled. I think Everton just bullied us, beat us up a little bit. Their back four was the biggest back four I've ever seen in my life. Their right back, Jake O'Brien, he must be about 7 foot, absolutely huge. we really struggled against them, but Tottenham's going to be a completely different game. Honestly, they've got a lot of quick, fast players. They don't tend to stay in shape a lot. They're quite fluid, sporadic in their play, and I think Moreno has shown in glimpses this season. I remember he had Salah in his back pocket at Anfield, and I went up there and watched him. So he's a very capable performer. He, like a lot of them, had an off day against Everton, and I expect him to bounce back. And the thing is, what other options have we got? So if Aina isn't fit, and by all accounts he didn't train up until Thursday, I think Nuno even said that in the press conference. So even if he somehow has made it back onto the training pitch and gets the start, he's not going to last 90 minutes, I wouldn't have thought. So Moreno is going to play some part in this game, and we've got to back him because that's who we've got, and he's been good this season. So that team on the face of it should be enough to give Tottenham a hell of a game, and I'm hoping that in crucial key moments our big players can come to the fore, because we didn't see it last week, and we didn't see it again in the first half against Villa either. But they're very capable of doing it, and we've had some amazing away days this year. Just hope that Mondays is another one of them. But no, just got to back them, Matt. That's who we've got. And Greg's point about the bench, absolutely spot on. I wrote down here, Villa's subs that came on yesterday were insane. Some of the players they brought on, and the squad depth that they've got compared to pretty much every team, certainly ours, is what got them over the line, what pushed them second half, gave them that extra gear. We don't have that. So we've really got to place a lot of trust in our starters, and just hope that the few that do come off the bench can either see a game out or just try and shore it up, because we don't necessarily have them game changers, do we? But we've got what we've got, and we've done brilliant so far.
Yeah, and if we get in the Champions League, then hopefully we get some degree of that. I think Villa are 2 or 3 years ahead of where we are. They'll have had two Champions League seasons if they get in. So yeah, I think that's a fair point. And also, I think this is a much better matchup for us than Everton. I know it's away from home, but Spurs will give you a chance. In fact, Spurs will give you a few chances. I think they're going to play a high line still, even if they're not as adventurous as they were. So yeah, I prefer this matchup much more. I think being away from home is a factor, and I still think a point's a good result. But yeah, I'm still optimistic on it. What about Chris Wood, Greg? He sounded like he was pretty rusty. Any worries there or not?
Yeah, his performance wasn't as good as his usual ones, but it's more about how much we missed him the game he was out, all those crosses in the box and all those things that we could have got on against Villa where we really needed him. And that's more of an away kind of performance that we like to see with Forest, that second half against Villa. And if he's on the pitch with those balls going in, we're going to get goals. So that second half against Villa is key for me to how we play against Spurs with Chris Wood on the pitch. And it's tough. It's our weakest position, I'd say, on the pitch now, with Taiwo being injury prone or injured, and then who's behind Sousa, who hasn't had real game time at all, really. So yeah, it's all on Chris Wood. These last 6 games, he's really got to be as good as he has been for the majority of the season, and I'm sure he will be.
Yeah, I think so. Patch Adams says he doesn't think Van der Ven will play. That'll be really interesting. How they line up.
Why is that?
Because he won't risk him, because his hamstrings are so dodgy, aren't they? And they're playing a 3-game season. This game's almost irrelevant, it feels to them, which is another factor. Just on that, Mikey, as well, before we start to wrap things up, we've started the last couple of games pretty terribly. I know the first goal is important for us, but just the tone, the way we start the game feels pretty essential in this one. Do you think? It
does, yeah. And I mentioned it, didn't I, in one of my previous answers. I want to see us come out the traps that first 15, 20 minutes, set a marker down, show what we're about, turn any Spurs positivity back to where it needs to be, which is not positive, and really try and impose and establish ourselves on the game, and then take control of it as the game goes on. It's really important. Villa, we didn't start well at all, and we were 2 down before we even blinked. We can't afford to do that at all. So we need to start absolutely sharp and on the ball. And I think that team gives us the best opportunity of doing that. They play together a lot this season. We're not messing around with formations or, horses for courses, putting in that extra centre back or dropping anyone deep. That is our best formation, and the one that served us so well throughout the season. And that's what I expect to happen. The one thing I will say about Tom, I just don't get it. I know I said it before about how the rest. It is a 3-game season. I absolutely get that, but they're not playing next week. There's 10 days. How are these clubs getting away with it? I'll be honest. So Man United, for example, the lowest position they've been in probably since I've been alive. How are they getting away with just playing rubbish in the league? How is it not insane pressure? Tottenham, how can you just chalk off the last 6 games of this? This is Tottenham Hotspur. This is one of the fundamental clubs of the league. How are they just getting away with? Oh, we've only got 3 games to play.
Let them rest. So
I just, if I was a Tottenham fan, and we both know a Tottenham fan, don't we, Matt? Even he's oh, you'll beat us tomorrow. Where's this malaise come from with these huge football clubs? I hope we never get into that situation where we're just chalking off games of football. The amount you pay for a game of
Stupid.
football in London as well. It's mad, isn't it, Greg? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
How many viewers have we got now, by the way, Matt, at the minute?
315.
Oh, because Laura's just messaged me saying she's going to the garden centre, so I didn't know whether we were boring her or what. Because I know she was in the chat earlier, so sorry if we're boring you.
No, we were good on Monday. Someone wrote in the comments, Temps did a great job hosting, but someone wrote much better than boring Matt, which is uplifting when I'm the person who reads all the comments. Thanks, Alan.
Oh, I had a video sent to me about Temps because he's a good footballer, isn't he? He's still got it, even well into his 40s. He's still got it. But I got sent a lovely clip of him. Let's just say not having the greatest shot he's ever had the other day.
Next time he's on.
Really
next time he's
cheered
on,
me up.
It's getting played next time he's on. It was going to get played today, but I'll save it. Save it for when he's on. He loves talking about his highlights. You know, it's pretty funny. Any final thoughts on this game, Mikey, before we start to wrap things up?
No, I know I've flip-flopped into ranting about Spurs. I don't care about Spurs. I hope they play the worst team, and I hope they're 2-0 down and the fans are booing after 10 minutes. That's what I want to happen. I don't get some of the decisions that have made at that football club. I don't care. I think we are in control as a fan base, as a team, as a club, as a city, anyone that supports us from around the world. We are in a phenomenal position. And the games we have, and I said it before, apart from Man City's running, ours I think is the best. So regardless of what happens tomorrow, if we get a point, ace, we're back on the road. You know, we're back picking up points. Those last 5, I think we'd probably win 3 of the next 4 after that. Honestly, I still can't see it going to the last game. I think we're in a great position. So let's keep the positivity. Don't worry about teams around us. Don't care about it. Just look after yourselves.
Retro Nix mentions the Proton ads. We did mention it at the start. Mark has just watched in our podcast WhatsApp group. David Mitchell's tweeted about it, saying how much he loves it. So
wow,
that's good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
good old Prots. What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy. Any thoughts, Greg, before we finish or wrap up? Anything else on this game?
It's Spurs, isn't it? It's one of those away games that always excites me. You know, winning at Man U was a dream. Winning at Liverpool was a dream. It feels like it's the last one to chalk off. We beat City years ago at their place, so that's fine too. It's like Spurs away, and maybe Arsenal as well, is a real carrot, and we've just got a perfect chance of getting it. Like, I can't wait to get down there. Even if they've not sold many seats, Aaron's going to be packed out in red, and it'll be loud, and it is. I do enjoy their stadium as well. It's a great get to watch a game from, and I can just see it happening. Get a win there, and what a season, what an away season we've had so far anyway. But yeah, I'm just excited.
I think this is the big thing that Pat mentions as well. We get our energy back, get our players back. I'm hoping Chris Wood, after 9 days of training, he's much more. I didn't see the Everton game, but I imagine he was like 70% fit, and if he's like 85% fit now or something like that, then players are carrying knocks and injuries all the time at this stage of a season. So I think that's going to be big for us. I just want to see us, as Mikey said, start the game with some proper intensity, have that energy, have attacking ideas, and all that kind of stuff. Then I think, we've got every chance, certainly. Right. We shall reflect with some final thoughts shortly, but just before that, a word of thanks for Home Move Estate Agents as ever. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Notts area, probably not on a Sunday, but hopefully in the week, do contact Ben Sales, ben at homemoveea.co.uk. Numbers on the screen as well. They are 5-star rated on Google as well, so you'll get a good deal or good service, no doubt, I'm sure. So thanks very much to Ben and the guys there. Any other business, anything you want to add, Greg Mitchell?
Yeah, why have I gone blurry all of a sudden?
You have gone blurry. I thought you'd put a filter on for some kind of, mood thing.
No, sorry, you've got the blurry me. Some people say it's bad. I'd like to talk about Southampton's fantastic draw yesterday.
Oh, no. Okay, I've got something. Yeah.
Why?
This is an FPL nerd thing, but Areola was on 10 points, and that cost me. I know what you're going to say, and I know the reason. And you're right, but that
I am right. It was your silly game. I
know
forgot
you're
my
right.
login on FPL about 2 months ago, and I can't get back on, and my life's
No,
better for it.
You are right. I was just couldn't believe it when I saw my
even
flame.
if they don't get another point now, Derby's goal difference will forever mean that's it. It's done again, hasn't it? And I know we don't care about Derby anymore. They're going to be in League One next year, and we'll probably never play them again unless they get to the third round of the League Cup, which is unlikely, or FA Cup, whatever. But yeah, fantastic. That was a nice little joyful moment from yesterday of a lot of bad results. So well done, Southampton.
I think they'll get another point. I think they're better than Leicester. I think Leicester are the worst team in the Premier League from what I've seen. I think Southampton, just the way they started the season killed them. Southampton are away to Leicester in one of their games, and they will win that one to surpass Derby's points record. Crystal clear, Mikey. Anything you want to say before we go?
2 quick things. I did watch Derby against Luton. Oh my word, that took me back. The days. Our days in the Championship where we're just scratching to stay alive. Oh, some of the football. I looked at some of the stats as well. I'll give you a bit of a comparison. So, aerial duels, Villa Forest, which was an elite game that second half. It was excellent. I think there was 18 aerial duels in total. That game. That's how much the ball was in the air. Don't know what's happened to Greg. In comparison,
Just say that in general. Sorry.
Yeah. In comparison, Derby, Luton, 89. Aerial duels. Yeah, 89 aerial duels in that game compared to 18. So I can't do maths. 4 or 5 times as much. So that tells you, for those that didn't watch the game, what that game was like, and it was horrible. And I was just thankful that that's not us anymore. And I think Greg's right. If you look at Derby's running, they're in big trouble.
Yeah,
right? I think
it's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know? I remember when we went back up to the Championship, and I was speaking to someone at Forest. This is years ago, and Forest had got no staff, like literally. It was like, and Derby had just come down from the Premier thing, hadn't they? And I think we'd got like I'm completely wrong on numbers, but say if we had one person in our media team, they had like a team of like 20 or 30. And I thought, how are we ever going to get past them? Like, we're going to struggle like hell. And it's just, it's hilarious, isn't it? I'll never feel sorry for that club in any capacity, and it's just great.
It just shows you, doesn't it? I went the other week when they played Oxford, and they were lucky to get a point from that. And it was a poor game of football, but Oxford were the ones we thinking they'll be fine, and they will be fine. Yeah, Derby are in trouble. The only other thing I want to say, I don't want to talk about Derby. My top today, Chicago Cubs. For those that like baseball, I watched the Cubs game the other day. It was ridiculous. I think it was. I won't go into baseball too much, but it was. In football analogy, it was 0-0 with about 10 minutes to go. And
we've already lost one follower, by the way. So
sorry. Yeah, it was 0-0 with 10 minutes to go and ended 5-4. It was ridiculous. It was like that Man United Europa League game. Like the last 10 minutes of it was just teams just forgot how to defend. It was ridiculous. But baseball season, Cubs are doing all right.
If we're talking about other teams, Panthers in the ice hockey as well, winning last night, and their game's on tonight, half 5. It'll be brilliant for the City if they get the playoff win again. So
that would be great. And women are away today. Last away game at Starbridge. So good luck to them. And also the B team did well, didn't they, last week? Getting through to a final. So it's all going great in the City, isn't it?
It is. That was a great win for the Panthers. I mean, I still follow them a bit. Sheffield Steelers have had their number for ages, so for them to beat them in overtime.
Have you seen the clip of the winning goal?
Yeah.
Oh, when he waves to the Steelers fans, it's just brilliant. It's game over, and it's his last ever professional weekend of hockey. It's just what a goodbye that was. It was brilliant.
Definitely. Yeah, good luck to Forest women. Well done to the B team as well. It was a nice chance to plug the podcast with Nick Marshall and Chris McGuane. That deserves more viewers because it's really good. It's had lots of good feedback, so check that out. Right, what from me? Happy birthday in advance to Mikey. Lindsay texted at the start saying it's Mikey's birthday on Tuesday. Basically telling me to say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday in advance, Mikey. Is this a big one or just a regular one?
It is. It's got to be
25. No, it's not a big one, but I will be coming back on the bus from Tottenham. So let's hope when it strikes midnight, I'm in a good mood because we're in a good performance.
What else shall we say? We've got lots of stuff coming up. We're back. I plugged the opposition preview to death. Sorry. Post-match show Monday night with Emily and Mark. Tuesday 9 a.m. with Kelvin, Pete, and Temps. Then we'll have opposition preview Wednesday. Thursday is the big Wembley preview. Friday is Henry Winter. Saturday is Matt Ford. Sunday is Wembley with myself and Greg Mitchell in the press box at Wembley, which we're very excited about. Greg's especially excited about. You've got to behave, you know.
Don't people watch? You know, I'm going to wear a shirt. What do you wear? I'm like, anyway, we'll get on to that.
Yeah, you wear normal clothes, don't we? You don't need to wear a suit or anything like that.
No, looking forward to it.
Yeah, photo ID, so you can dust off one of your mugshots. Don't worry, you'll be all right. What else was I going to say? Oh, I read some good books on holiday. That's what I was going to say. I read Bob Mortimer's 2 books, if anyone's looking for something to read, Satsuma Complex and Hotel Avocado. And pertinent to this show, I read How to Win the Premier League by Ian Graham. If you're a data nerd, then it's really fascinating. Even if you're not, it's really interesting about how transfers work and how Liverpool won the Premier League. And it relates to us, I think, of how we're signing players based not on, reputation anymore, hopefully, and just CVs. Interestingly, Origi features quite well in it of how well he did for them. But yeah, it's a really good book talking about how the game's played and how transfers work. So I check all that out. I think it's really good stuff. Right. I think that's it. Greg Mitchell, thank you very much.
Thank you. See you tomorrow night, Mikey.
Absolutely.
You will do. What, are you watching the game together?
No, but it's away ending it. We'll see. He's dead tall. You can see from a mile off.
That's true. Mikey, Clarke, thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. Happy Easter, everybody. Let's hope we bring back 3 points tomorrow.
Hopefully so. If you've enjoyed this, do us a favour, hit like, hit subscribe, do consider membership or Patreon, or give us a lovely review on iTunes or Spotify, Apple or Spotify, I should say. Leave a review as well if you want. We haven't had many of late. I do like reading them. And get your podcast merch on forest-focus.co.uk. There you go. Thanks very much to everyone for everyone's company, especially on an Easter. Really appreciate that. And for everyone's patience while we had a little break there, or I had a little break. So yeah, have a good weekend, everyone. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we shall see you soon.
Bye.